A Redditor posted relationship advice stating that she found out her partner has been putting slugs in her food. The post has since been removed by the mods. The 22-year-old Redditor, who has been with her 24-year-old partner for 4 years, started noticing him acting strange around her. Her partner started by putting fruit on the garden floor, which she thought were for a mice family that had nested in their shed. The partner then started baking and cooking her food, which she doesn't usually do. She did, however, feel sick after eating it, which she thought was due to hormones or lack of sleep. Her partner's friend then came into her work and revealed to her that her partner had been collecting slugs gathered on the garden fruit, blending them up, and putting them in her food. He even showed pictures of this sent to him by the partner. OP was understandably sick to her stomach, claiming that this is out of character for her partner. When she confronted him about it, he got angry at her for not being able to take a joke. OP then took to Reddit to ask for advice on what she should do. Most of the commenters told OP to leave her partner right away, calling him a psycho. OP then posted an update where she says that after some tests, the doctors discovered a high level of metaldehyde in her blood, as well as stomach ulcers, which could be because of poisoning. OP also spoke to the police to give a statement, while her now ex-partner refused to speak to the police, but did however speak to her. He confessed to doing random experiments on her which started a few months after they moved in together. Things like spitting on her toast, replacing her meds thinking it would be funny, among other things. One of the more disturbing things was when he scraped out her pet giant African land snails and secretly put it in her curry. OP then posted a comment somewhere in the thread where she said this: "He was diagnosed with ASPD yesterday and admitted everything to me, and how I was his way of looking normal to the outside world. He manipulated me by giving me everything I wanted as a BPD sufferer. Love, affection, and compliments. He began testing me emotionally at first with cheating to see how I would react. But I forgave him, and then began with food and stuff to see how long until I got sick. I'm still baffled. The person I knew I never really knew at all. He's a psychopath and he gives ASPD sufferers a bad name. He knew I was vulnerable due to my mental and physical illnesses. He became my carer but was torturing me at the same time, and I was unaware of any of this. He rescued me from an abusive situation and then put me into a new one. This is how he works." Following this, OP then made another post on r/advice, stating that she has no appetite following the relationship, as she's scared of getting sick, as well as being terrified of slugs and doing everything she can to keep them out of her house. A year later, OP would make another post, saying that she's thankfully alive and doing better now. Carol is a 21-year-old college student who claims she wants to be a double below elbow amputee. This archive of a blog created by Carol in 2001 details her thoughts and story. Carol claims that meeting a man at 3 years old who was missing 4 fingers was what got her fascinated by amputees. Carol has constantly fantasized about becoming an amputee, wanting to wear specific prostheses. Twin body power prostheses with matching Doran's 5X stainless steel hooks. Believing her fantasy to be indecent, she hid it from everyone, up until she met her fiance Rob, whom she's planning to marry. Rob introduced Carol to his ex-girlfriend Debbie, who happened to be a real DBE amputee, wearing the exact prosthetics Carol mentioned. After meeting Debbie, who had lost both her arms in an accident, Carol revealed to her desire to become a real DBE amputee, and getting a pair of beautiful stainless steel prosthetic hooks just like Debbie. Claiming she fully understood the challenges of being a DBE amputee and being equipped to face them, Carol had an elaborate plan. In it, she would lose her arms about 8 inches below her elbow as a result of an accident, so that no doctors could save or reattach them. The accident would happen just before her graduation on her 22nd birthday, where she could celebrate both her birthday and being a new DBE amputee. Throughout the blog, Carol obsesses over wanting to continue living her life as a real DBE amputee, and wearing the beautiful twin body power prostheses with Doran's 5X stainless steel hooks. There's also another entry titled Becoming a Real DBE Amputee, where Carol states that following her friendship with Debbie and extensive research, she knows exactly what to expect after the accident, even changing her lifestyle to adapt to the amputation. doing things such as wearing button-free clothes, disposing of jewelry unless it fits on the prosthetic, and practicing using her index and middle finger as if they were real hooks. Carol has two wishes for after she becomes an amputee. First, that no one would have to suffer as a result of her decision. And second, that there would be a way to donate her arms to women who need them. If only I could have been born a real DBE amputee baby instead of a normal baby, she says. If only I could have the body of a real DBE amputee woman without having to resort to a planned accident. There's also a fictional account of the accident and Carol's plans for the future. Carol's blog was deleted sometime in 2001, sometime before Carol's accident was scheduled to take place, leaving all to wonder what became of Carol and her plan to become a DBE amputee. From the information given, it seems Carol could be suffering from body integrity identity disorder, a rare mental disorder in which a person may have a strong desire of being disabled by amputating a limb or seeking to become paralyzed. People with this disorder feel incomplete with being able-bodied, and that becoming disabled would help them feel complete inside. It seems that Carol's fiancé Rob may be more involved in supporting and pushing her disorder. In the fantasy, Carol speaks about how Rob has been a true woman arm amputee devotee, how within a week he introduced her to his ex-girlfriend who also happened to be an amputee, and how Rob and herself would spend hours talking about how she would become an amputee. There are several theories about the whole story, from Carol being a real woman with BIID who wrote this blog as a sort of fan fiction, to Carol never having existed in the first place, and this being some guy's way of living out his fantasy. The case was covered by the internet investigator, who likely managed to discover the true identity of Carol, who turned out to be a real person. It seems that Carol did not go through with the amputation and seems to be leading a relatively normal life. Gilberto Valle was a New York police officer who would late at night log into a website called Dark Fetish Net while his wife was asleep. Dark Fetish Net is a site which claims to be a friendly place for all people with dark fantasies. In it, users would discuss their extreme fantasies. In Valle's case, it was cannibalism, frequenting the site under the username Girl Meat Hunter. Valle would discuss kidnapping, cannibalizing, and murdering other women, including his wife. Valle's wife, suspecting her husband of cheating, placed spyware onto his computer where she discovered what he was up to. She discovered pictures of herself, her friends, and people they knew. Accompanying the pictures were various discussions, grim messages, and emails, where Valle and 24 other users would discuss how they would carry out their dark fantasies, which involved over 100 women. Google searches were also found that said how to prepare human meat, where to get huge cooking trays, and how to cook a woman alive. What was also found on Valle's computer was a document titled Abducting and Cooking Kimberly, a Blueprint, as well as chats detailing how they would do so. Valle would send back and forth emails with 3 other members whom he met on the site. The emails contained photos of women he knew, and the members would plan out how they would actually go about kidnapping and preparing them. Valle's wife, afraid he might actually carry out his fantasies, went to the FBI, who arrested him. Valle was then charged with conspiracy to commit kidnapping and was fired from the NYPD. Throughout the trial, Valle claimed that what he said in the chat rooms were just fantasies, and he never intended on acting on any of them. He was, however, found guilty and acquitted in 2013. In 2014, a judge overturned Valle's conviction, stating the evidence supported his claims that he was only engaged in fantasy roleplay. Following this, Valle wrote a book titled Raw Deal, where he would explain his side of the story. An anonymous man posted a video on YouTube in 2009 under the username Catchmeki, with his face blurred out and his voice altered. In a video titled Serial Confession, he claimed that he was responsible for the death of 16 women. Although the videos have since been deleted, an MP3 recording of them exists. This is what he said.
I decided to confess a few things. I decided to do it on YouTube because there's millions of people who find one body at a time. Whenever one body is found, another clue is for that body. Once all 16 bodies are found, You'll know exactly who I am.
According to him, one of the 16 women is Jennifer Kessie, who had gone missing in 2006. Catchmeki commented maybe I can help on a webpage dedicated to Jennifer Kessie. Jennifer Kessie's father Drew Kessie saw this and replied to the comment saying, "Talk is cheap, explain yourself. Either you know something or you don't. Which is it and why? Post here." Catchmeki also claimed to be involved in the case of Tara Grinstead, who had gone missing in 2005, offering clues on her whereabouts. This led investigators to look into Catchmeki's identity, where they discovered it was just a hoax made up by Andrew Scott Haley. Andrew claimed that he was creating a fictional game and that others would know it was not real. However, he was charged with tampering with evidence and making false statements, where he was sentenced to 2 years work release and fined $4,000.